A pistol that sold for $400 3 years ago now sits in gun shop cases at $180. A rifle advertised as revolutionary couldn't hold resale value past the first season. The used firearms market reveals which guns depreciate the moment you sign the paperwork, and the reasons might surprise you. Firearms follow a distinct depreciation pattern. Most new mass-produced guns lose about 15% immediately, then hold value with minimal decline for years. This stability reflects established brands, proven designs, and steady demand. Some models break that pattern. Guns that lose 30 to 50% within a year usually suffer from reputation damage, quality concerns, or oversupply. Once buyer confidence is lost, resale values rarely recover. Used market pricing follows clear expectations, with modest discounts for lightly used firearms. When losses exceed those norms, underlying problems are usually responsible. Recognizing these warning signs helps buyers avoid models that turn into financial mistakes. At number 7, Remington R-51. The Remington R-51 arrived in 2014 with substantial hype behind it. The pistol represented a modernized version of John Peterson's classic Remington Model 51 design from 1918, now chambered in 9mm+P. The unique hesitation-locked action and low-bore axis generated excitement among firearms enthusiasts eager for innovative designs. Production problems emerged immediately. By July 2014, just months after introduction, Remington suspended production entirely. The company acknowledged that some R-51 pistols had performance issues, with customers reporting serious reliability problems. Remington determined these problems resulted from complications during our transition from prototype to mass production. The company didn't resume shipments until June 2016, nearly 2 years later. Even improved versions never caught on with buyers. Reviews criticized the pistol for unreliable operation and uncomfortable shooting characteristics, though some praised its compact size and unique aesthetics. American Rifleman noted poor quality magazines that failed to load properly, though accuracy was acceptable. The damage to resale value was catastrophic. R-51 pistols now sit in display cases far below original sticker prices. Even improved versions never recovered market confidence. When a pistol develops that kind of reputation, used prices collapse permanently. Most owners don't want to take the risk twice. Buyers considering R-51 pistols should expect depreciation of 50% or more from original retail, with limited buyer interest making sales difficult. At number 6, Mossberg Patriot. Mossberg introduced the Patriot in 2015 as an entry-level bolt-action hunting rifle. Retail pricing ranges from $319 to $500 in the United States, competing directly with Savage Axis, Remington 783, and Ruger American. The Patriot offers features borrowed from Savage's playbook, including adjustable trigger, floating bolt head, and barrel nut design. The bargain bin configurations with flexible stocks and rough-feeling actions depreciate quickly. Quality control issues plague the line. One gun shop reported receiving 35 to 50% of sold Patriots back for warranty work. Mossberg's service on warranty claims proved spotty according to multiple retailers. Common problems include bedding issues where the action either sits too hard or too soft when pulled into the stock. Accuracy suffers from various issues, including incorrect rifling, misalignment, damaged muzzle crowns, and thread pitch problems. Some rifles group accurately, while others throw shots inconsistently at the same range session. The plastic bedding in the action creates additional problems. The front action screw uses blind threading that can bottom out without properly tightening the action to the stock. The plastic trigger guard fails when shooters attempt to properly torque bedding screws. The bolt exhibits excessive looseness in the action. Hunters who bought Patriots as entry-level rifles often trade up within a single season, flooding the used market. That surplus pushes prices even lower. Rifle buyers want consistency and durability. Anything that feels value-engineered drops hard in resale value. The Patriot's better versions don't help lower-end models hold worth. The magazine represents the cheapest, worst-feeling rifle magazine in its class, according to independent reviewers. At number 5, Taurus PT111 G2. Before the G2C earned improved reputation, the early PT111 G2 models suffered issues with finish durability and occasional reliability concerns. Those first impressions stuck hard. Resale values never fully recovered even after Taurus improved later models. The stigma around early variants drags the whole line down in the used market. Current used values for PT111 G2 pistols average $120.92, having fallen $8.35 over the past 12 months. This represents substantial depreciation from original retail pricing of $200 to $300 when new. The demand for used PT111 G2 pistols has fallen 4 units over the past year, while new demand rose only 3 units. Gun shops want these pistols gone more than buyers want them. Stores price them well below expectations because hesitation kills prices. When buyers hesitate, depreciation accelerates. The PT111 G2 suffers from this exact dynamic. Even though later models improved significantly, the used market reflects overall perception rather than individual upgrades. Private sellers typically accept $100 to $150, depending on condition, and included magazines. Some variants sold under recall status without available parts, further depressing values to $100 maximum. The recall history creates additional buyer hesitation even for repaired examples. Taurus successfully addressed quality issues with the G2C successor, which earns positive reviews for reliability at the $200 to $250 price point. However, this improvement created market segmentation where buyers choose newer G2C models over used G2 variants. The existence of better alternatives at similar pricing crushes resale demand for early G2 pistols. Buyers considering PT111 G2 purchases should expect depreciation exceeding 50% from original retail with limited buyer interest. At number 4, KelTec PF-9. The Kel-Tec PF-9 served its purpose as an inexpensive carry pistol when introduced. However, heavy recoil, stiff triggers, and occasional reliability quirks kept many shooters from retaining the pistols long-term. As soon as better budget-friendly micro-pistols arrived on the market, used PF-9s flooded secondary sales channels. A gun loses value when demand disappears, and the PF-9 suffered exactly this fate. Current market pricing shows PF-9 pistols selling for a fraction of original retail because buyers know they're plentiful and not in high demand. The pistol depreciates fast and rarely rebounds in value. The slim profile and lightweight construction appealed to concealed carriers, prioritizing easy concealment over shooting comfort. The single-stack 7-round magazine kept width minimal for deep concealment. However, the combination of snappy recoil from the lightweight polymer frame and the heavy double-action-only trigger made extended shooting sessions unpleasant for many owners. Newer competitors from established manufacturers entered the micro-compact market with substantially better triggers, manageable recoil, and higher capacity. The Sig P365 offered 10-round standard in similar dimensions with vastly superior trigger. The Springfield Hellcat provided 11 to 15 rounds, depending on magazine selection. The Glock 43X delivered 10-round standard with the familiar Glock trigger. These alternatives captured market share rapidly, making the PF-9 obsolete except for buyers prioritizing lowest possible cost. The market saturation of used PF-9 pistols creates supply far exceeding demand. Owners who purchased the pistol for budget concealed carry discovered better alternatives and traded up, creating inventory glut. Gun shops acquire PF-9 pistols readily, but struggle to move them at profitable margins. Depreciation exceeds 60% from original retail in many cases, with some examples selling for under $150. The combination of dated design, superior alternatives, and market oversaturation makes the PF-9 one of the fastest depreciating pistols currently available. At number 3, Sig Sauer P250. The Sig P250 never lived up to expectations despite promising modular design concepts. The double-action-only trigger held the pistol back from market acceptance. Most buyers realized quickly that the learning curve wasn't worth the effort, and the pistol fell out of favor fast. The P320 overshadowed the P250 almost instantly after its 2014 introduction. The P320's striker-fired design with single-action style trigger proved far more appealing to American shooters accustomed to striker-fired triggers from Glock, Smith & Wesson M&P, and similar platforms. The P250's DAO trigger required different technique and training that most shooters found unnecessary given available alternatives. The modular concept allowing grip module swaps between different sizes represented innovative thinking. However, the execution through a DAO trigger system alienated the target market. Sig Sauer's subsequent success with the P320, using essentially the same modular concept but with striker-fired operation, proved that the trigger system was the problem, not the modularity. Current market pricing shows 250 pistols priced well below other SIG pistols because they're overshadowed and underdemanded. When a platform gets replaced rather than refined, its value fades quickly. Sig Sauer's focus on P320 development and marketing left the P250 without support or updates. The company essentially abandoned the platform in favor of the more successful striker-fired alternative. Depreciation exceeds 40% from original retail in most cases. Gun shops struggled to move 250 peso inventory even at discounted prices because buyers prefer 320 peso variants at similar or slightly higher prices. The P250 represents an interesting evolutionary dead end in SIG's product development, a good idea executed through the wrong trigger system for the American market. Collectors might eventually appreciate early modularity attempts, but current market dynamics show continuous depreciation with limited recovery prospects. At number 2, Remington 770. The Remington 770's reputation suffered early in its production run and never recovered. Rough actions, inconsistent accuracy, and cheap-feeling stocks drove resale values into the ground. Even hunters who had decent experiences with individual rifles can't expect much when trading them in. Gun shops price 770 rifles far lower than comparable used rifles because demand is weak. Once a gun becomes known for cutting corners, rebuilding trust or value becomes nearly impossible. The 770 represents one of the clearest examples of fast depreciation in modern hunting rifles. Most 770 rifles are package models that come with basic scopes, and buyers expect significant discounts because they're common and often equipped with bargain optics. Once the rifle is no longer brand new, it becomes just another 770 on the used rack. Even if an individual rifle shoots acceptably, the market doesn't care. Used buyers shop for the cheapest functional rifle, and they know 770 rifles appear everywhere. The 770 replaced Remington's Model 710, which itself suffered from reputation problems. The moment you leave the store with a 710, it becomes a rifle most buyers are skeptical about, and skepticism kills used prices. The demand isn't strong, and most used buyers only consider one if priced low enough to feel like a gamble. Remington discontinued the 770 and replaced it with the Model 783, which represented substantial improvements. The 783 features better triggers, improved accuracy potential, and superior quality control. However, this replacement doesn't help 770 values. Instead, it confirms that the 770 needed replacement due to inadequacy. Current used market pricing shows 770 rifles selling for 40 to 60% below original retail, depending on condition and included accessories. Private party sales often settle at $200 to $300 for rifles originally retailing at $400 to $500. This represents exceptional depreciation for a centerfire rifle from a major manufacturer. The combination of poor reputation, replacement by superior models, and market saturation makes the 770 a poor value retention proposition. At number 1, Marlin 795. The Marlin 795 performs reliably enough, but it never built the cultural following that keeps gun values high. With so many shooters defaulting to the Ruger 10/22, the 795 became the backup option, and backup options drop hard in value. Used prices remain low because the rifle was inexpensive when new and lacks aftermarket appeal. The Ruger 10/22 dominates the .22 LR semi-automatic rifle market so completely that alternatives struggle to maintain value regardless of actual performance. The 10/22's enormous aftermarket ecosystem, with thousands of available upgrades and accessories, creates network effects that make competing platforms less attractive to buyers. The 795 features a tubular magazine rather than the 10/22's detachable box magazine. Some shooters prefer tubular magazines for field use as they're less likely to be lost. However, most buyers view the tubular magazine as a disadvantage, particularly for competitive shooting or training where rapid magazine changes matter. This design choice further limits market appeal. Even well-kept 795 rifles don't command much on the secondary market. The rifle performs its intended function adequately, but performance doesn't always translate into resale strength. The lack of aftermarket support compared to the 10/22 means buyers can't easily customize or upgrade 795 rifles to individual preferences. Original retail pricing for 795 rifles ranges from $150 to $220 depending on configuration. Used market prices typically fall to $100 to $150, representing 30 to 40% depreciation. While this absolute dollar amount isn't large, the percentage depreciation is substantial. The combination of low initial pricing, market dominance by the 10/22, and limited aftermarket support makes the 795 a poor value retention choice for buyers prioritizing resale potential.